Okay, here we go. 1976 Jeep Cherokee
Sport.
with
Quadra track and locking hubs.
and what motor?
AMC 401.
Tranny.
Turbo 400.
You already said Quadra-Track. Okay.
Yep.
What we're doing is brake hubs. And Esteban is here to guide me through this. So, here we go. First, we take off the hub. And this is your new hubs. We have new hubs for this that Esteban got. So we're putting, these are worn hubs. We're putting
Premium worn hubs.
premium worn hubs
One-ton application.
back on it, but we ran out of brake pad. So it's time. So if you have a Ford or a Chevy or whatever, the old style, this is all kind of similar, how this all comes apart. We sprayed them down with PV ahead of time, huh, Steve? Or you did.
I did, just so I could facilitate.
And thank God you did, huh? Okay. Sounds like there's a circus going on upstairs, huh?
They're doing something.
Okay. If you've seen our other videos, this is called the Beast. We call this the Beast because this thing's meaner than hell. Okay. Off comes the hub. I don't
So
steal.
it's Johnson, Earhart, and Harvick. And there's 12 laps to go.
Okay.
Beautiful.
And we're watching NASCAR. I'm gonna need a rag, Steve.
Rag, all right.
Rag, I need a rag.
There you go. Oh,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Okay. There is 2 snap rings. And I don't know where the first one is. We're trying to find the first one. I feel it and I see it. I just don't know where the end of it is. See it, Steve? We're rolling. Okay. So, take the hub off.
So, when these were quadra drives,
Quadra-Tracks.
quadra tracks, how did you convert them though? Even though they had the center cap.
They had a block in here, just like you see with the snap ring on it. Here's a snap ring we're gonna have to pull off in a second, and it was basically locked in full-time full drive.
No matter what, right?
No matter what, and when you took your transfer case out of four-wheel drive, it would go out of four-wheel drive, and you'd have two-wheel drive, but your front end was always moving. But it wasn't locked into the transfer case, so it wasn't four-wheel drive. So basically, it's considered full-time four-wheel drive because the wheels were always locked.
Yeah.
But just depending on where you put your switch,
Right.
is
This thing, well, this truck has that emergency switch.
I'd have to look into that. I don't remember that.
And
I mean, it's been so
When I've
long.
done research on it, it locks both axles 100%. I mean, it won't let no wheel spin
Yeah.
whatsoever to save
It was a
its
great
life.
system. I mean, AMC was like a front runner in that.
Well, now we know.
I mean, they in the 70s they had the Eagle and the what else was it called? It was an Eagle.
Yeah. The little wagon type of ordeal.
Yeah. We're going in too deep. There we go. Okay. And you get that snap ring out of there. Okay, then where'd you put the little screws for these?
Oh, those.
I just need 2 of them.
There we go.
Or 1 might work.
No,
If you
I
give me
got
2.
2, just to be safe.
Okay, then we just screw these back in here. Yes, righty tighty.
Right there. Yes. Shush.
Dude, that might be good enough. Okay, then the hub.
The hub assembly, correct? Hub assembly.
Hub assembly comes out. Okay, there you go. Now we're gonna get rid of this. See ya. Look at all the oil in here, dude. You got inner axle seals.
Inner axle seal going.
Okay, now you probably can't see a fucking thing. All right.
Well, let me.
Give me a rag.
Hold on, I'll put
Give me that rag. Oh.
I got a rag for you there. You want a flashlight to see deeper?
Yeah,
in there?
let me put a flashlight in there so people can see.
Told you I should get you another flashlight.
No, we're good, dude. This. All right, Steve's showing you the inside there, and what you got.
Best of my
Let me pull it. This one's got one too, Steve, on this side.
Let me help you here. Okay.
Okay, now we need a hub socket to get this out. It's got 4 notches in it.
The hub socket, you have
And the
it.
hub socket is right
there.
there. Oop,
Hold on. Here we go.
there's the hub socket. It's got 4 titties on it. I didn't pull the caliper off yet.
We will pull the caliper.
Steve,
Hold on. I'll take care of this right now.
give it a friendly tap. Yep,
That's it.
that's it. Oop. Shit. And that comes off fairly easy. I'll show it once I pull it off. It's a pain in the ass doing it this way. Things we do for our fans. There it is. Okay. This is the first nut. Let me,
Need another rag?
actually, no, I got a good rag right here. I'm just gonna clean this up so we could show them what it looks like. I put the other one back too fast. There we go. This probably hasn't been apart since '76, dude. You know that, don't you?
Oh, of course. Probably was put apart once.
There it is. That's the first one.
Locking hot.
Okay, now we're gonna pull out. Shine your light in there, Steve. And there's like a. See if I can see it in that. Yeah. See this? Let me get the pointer. See this deal with the rings right here? This is what we got to get out of there. It's a jam nut. And it's coming.
It's jammed in there.
Yeah.
That's why they call it.
That's what they call a jam nut. Because there's a teat. Oh shit, give me that one. Because there's a teat, which I'll show on the camera here in a minute.
That one's teatless.
This locks your nuts together. If you don't have this, you can't lock your nuts together. You always need to be able to lock your nuts together. There's a, I don't know where it is.
Down there, right? Down
Yeah.
there. Where my light is.
Where this goes in, there's a little jam nut and there's a teat on the inner nut. So right now we're going to pull that one out with the same socket we did with the first one. Find that fucking thing. Okay, there we go. There we go. Steve?
Hold on.
Oh, never mind.
You got
The
it.
inner one's not tight. Is tight because that's the one you adjust so your hub's adjusted.
So many pounds.
No, it's all a feel thing. This is your, like on two-wheel drives, you have to adjust the castle nut
Yeah.
so the wheel hub's tight. Same type of thing. There we go. Okay. Thanks, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there you go. There's the inner one. And it's got the little teat. Let's show the little teat. See it? Point to it. Right there. And that's what that inner nut locks with. Okay. Oh, I'm going to clean this one real quick. Oh. Yeah, I think it was. But I still don't see anything broken, so I'm going to say it's going to go back to the transfer case, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I mean,
Transfer
the other
case
side
or-
locked in fine. This side's going to lock in fine.
What about the differential? It could be the differential, don't you think?
No, because nothing in it locks the differential.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, explain to Steve what you're trying to do first. You're taking out the back bearing and the back seal.
Exactly. We're taking out the back bearing and the back seal. First the back bearing, then the back seal.
Show them from the back of the rotor what it actually looks like. There you go. Yeah.
There
So,
it
and
is.
you got to knock it out from the front. And
There
he's
we
going to go through the top there and beat the shit out of it and take all the studs out of the rotor because we're reusing the hub. And sometimes it just falls out.
Hold on.
But you still got to get the race out.
Exactly.
Yep. And the race is out. Show the camera. The race.
The race is over almost.
The race is over. But now he's got to knock the hub off, knock the rotor off, or you're going to get the other one out.
I gotta get that bearing.
He's got to get the front bearing race out. Same thing. You gotta beat it out from the front, but the ledge isn't as strong as the back.
Of course, you clean it out as much as you can.
Obviously. Steve's a neat freak, so we're slowly trying to put this Jeep back together. He was MIA for, I don't know, 8 years.
Exactly.
Was it 8 years?
8 or 10 years, one or the other. The truck was somewhere.
Just sat in front of the apartment for all those years.
Exactly.
But if they watch our videos, it fired up on the first fucking try. You remember that.
We all do.
Leaky fuel line and all, it fired right back up. But that's the fun of it. Yep, and there's the front one. Okay, now he has to knock the, you're gonna knock the rotor off. Knock the studs out. Flip it over, hammer it. And then let's just show how the hub's cleaned. Well, I don't have to show that. But we got all new studs for this, obviously. You don't want to do this if you don't have new studs. Got one more there, brother.
Yep, I see it. I just gotta.
There you go. Is that screwdriver over there, or is it over here?
Which one?
The old.
I got it here.
All right.
I got it.
There you go. Okay, and just. There's the old rotor gone.
Alright, the hub's been cleaned. Now we gotta put studs. For
And the
rotor.
studs hold the hub to the
Nope, rotor.
rotor.
Once we get that, we're off for business, hopefully, eventually. I put a rag in here for safety purposes.
Because the brass drift spreads metal.
Exactly.
And we have to use a
Well,
brass
spreads
drift.
Brass shards.
Yeah. Get medieval on it.
Yes, you have to get medieval on it.
You can't do this with a press. But it takes longer.
We're earning it.
Yeah, we had to earn it.
Okay.
Go.
Ready to grease the bearings. Okay, so we're going to do it the old-fashioned way since we don't have a bearing greaser. But this is the best way, I think.
I think it is. And you just work it in with the palm of your hand. Messier, that's for sure.
Yet though effective.
How many people really know how to grease bearings nowadays anyway? You know? This is like a lost art. And I never thought it would be. I thought this was, you know, when I worked for Chrysler and my dad's Jeep place, I never thought it would end. Now you just replace the whole bearing and hub.
You know, sealed bearings, you know.
Yeah, all sealed bearing crap.
And that's pretty much it, you know.
Well, I'm a firm believer, and you know, it worked before. It'll work, dude. Just think about it. This is the first time in, what did we say, 40 years? As a 76, we're 20, so it's 39 years old.
Yeah.
40 years old, and
It's
this is the first time that we've had to do the bearings. I'm shooting. I'm just showing you putting all them. You know, you're putting all the extra grease down in there before you put the seal on.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking earlier about the wagon wheels. And could you imagine them using, you know, Crisco? I don't know what they use, animal fat or whatever to... Because you had to grease wheels all the time. I mean, those fuckers would run out of... They'd burn up in a mile. And it's amazing that you're still greasing wheels, you know, 100 years later. It's wild. I think it's cool, though.
Okay.
And it still works.
And it works well.
Technology. So you got to get all the shit off your hands.
Exactly. Which I will. Eventually.
All right, and we're going to, right now, you got to find the seal. It's up there, Steve. And he's got to put the seal on now to seal that in so we can put the hub back together. Ooh. Oh shit, that's going to be on video. Got it. You're good. Okay, we got the jam nut in. And Esteban's pissed about it, but we got the jam nut in. And it's something you just have to do. It takes a little bit of time. And we got the jam nut. We can see the teat through the deal. And he's actually gonna put the jam nut on. That's the jam washer, I guess you would call it. But he's going to put the jam... Show it. Okay, we're putting it back together. And that locks it in. Okay, Steve, go ahead. How am I running out of battery?
I don't know. I just reintroduced it in here, so there we go.
Okay. I just put the brand new hub on. Steve, you want to throw that on, dude?
Yeah.
Can you do it in front of the camera, or
Doesn't matter. It really doesn't.
here? I'm gonna move it to try and. There it is.
It's on.
Then we just gotta pull out the. We just have to put the one on the axle.
Yep.
Here. There should be a snap ring in there.
Yep, there's one in here actually. All the hardware.
Here, dude. Here's my knife. Oh my God. Oh, I don't mean to have that on camera. Okay, basically we slid it in there. We put the snap ring back in. We're going to put the snap ring back on the axle before the camera dies. And thank you. Esteban's doing that right now, and he's trying to put it back together. And then we have to put this on it. And we're done.